Okay, let's talk about parabolas and their parts. And the particular parts that we're going to be looking at are the vertex, the axis of symmetry, the x-intercepts, and the y-intercept. So first of all, what do parabolas look like? Here they are. They're these little U-shaped things like this, and they can be turned up or turned down. What's special about parabolas? They have a very, very bottom point, which is called the vertex, or a very, very top point that's called the vertex. When it's the very bottom point, it's called the minimum point. When it's the very top point, it's called the maximum point. Parabolas are symmetrical, so they have what we call this axis of symmetry. If you were to fold them down the middle, the left side should match the right side exactly. So for every point on the left side, there's the same point on the right side. For every point on the right side, there's the same on the left. That axis of symmetry is the line that you could fold down the middle and the parabola would fold over and match on each side. So axis of symmetry, vertex, some open up, some open down. Now let's look at some parabolas drawn on a graph and just identify some parts. So remember that the vertex is the either very top point or very bottom point. In this case, the vertex is the point, let's see, -1, 4. So let's write that in. -1, 4. The vertex is always a point. That vertex happens to be a maximum because this is turned up. The axis of symmetry would be the line right down the center here, and that line happens to be the vertical line, x equals -1, right down the center. The x-intercepts are where we cross the x-axis, so I see two of them, one right here and one right here. Let's list those as ordered pairs. So -3, 0 is one of them, and the other one is 1, 0. And the y-intercept would be where this parabola crosses the y-axis, which is right there, and the coordinates of that point are 0, 3. So we've just identified all these parts on this particular parabola. Let's do the same thing just one more time here. So here we have another parabola. This time it is turned upwards. The vertex is the point -1, -4 right here. -1, -4. This time our vertex is a minimum. Who's that axis of symmetry? Oh, that's the same line as before. X equal -1. The x-intercepts here are -3, 0, and 1, 0. So this is looking pretty similar to our last one, except it's turned up. And then the y-intercept is right here at 0, 3. Well, this is pretty easy, isn't it? Let's do a few more just to make sure. So let's take a look at this one. The vertex is right here. It's definitely a maximum. It's right on the x-axis at the point 2, 0. The axis of symmetry happens to go right down the middle there at the vertical line x equal 2. This time we only have one x-intercept, which is possible. Sometimes there's two. Looks like now there can just be one. And then the y-intercept is the point 0, -4. Got it? I think you got it. Let's do one more. So again, we have a vertex that is right on the x-axis, the point 4, 0. It is a minimum this time. The axis of symmetry is this line right here, x equals 4, the vertical line. There is one x-intercept. And where's the y-intercept? Well, it's up there somewhere. We just don't know where it is. We can't see it on this graph. We don't know because the graph just doesn't go up far enough for us to really see where it is. So we'll have other ways to find the y-intercept, but right now this picture just doesn't show us enough. And let's look at one more. What about this one? This one's floating up here. Looks like the vertex is right there. It's definitely a minimum. That's a point on the y-axis. It's the point 0, 3. I think you can see that, these units in between 2 and 4, exactly between 2 and 4. The axis of symmetry happens to be the y-axis, which is the line x equals 0, the vertical line. And what about x-intercepts? Well, this parabola is going up like this, so it's never going to touch this x-axis at all, so there's none. And is there a y-intercept? Yeah, you bet there is. It does. The y-intercept here happens to be the same as the vertex. So now we've just identified these parts in parabolas. Now go on and watch the next video.